Welcome to day 17, everyone. Today, become the observer. Be the soul. So we are the spiritual being having a human experience. An intention for the day is to be the spiritual being. Becoming the observer. And this has been a skill that was shared with me on my coaching course. And there was always one part of the course where all the mentors prepared you for. They said, that's the best day of the course. It was a listening drill. And listening is our biggest power. Ever since I learnt this and experienced this, instantly my life changed. The way that I showed up within conversations, my memory. I have the best memory. And I will share why that is. That's just a thought, it's a belief, it's something we hold on to, a label. And this is coming from someone who had the worst memory. Why? Because I used to tell people I've got the worst memory. I always forget. I never remember anything. God, when I've had a drink, it's game over after one. I just forget. I used to tell that to myself all the time. All the time. Now my memory's a sponge. I have a reason to learn. And a lot of that's come down to listening. So let's bring it to an energetic level. So when we're in a communication, we have the energy of each person. You can feel their energy. Sometimes their energy just drains me. Sometimes it's too much for me. We've all had those knowings. So energy is the truth. What else is used within a conversation? How do we communicate? Through words, energy, vibrations, sounds, the tone of the voice, the strength, the body language, the emotions, it's all energy. When you listen, all that energy stays within. When you're fully present, which we've been through a number of times now, you become the gift. And when it comes to conversations, listening is the gift. It's amazing. So we can listen to any conversation, and we can also start bringing awareness to different perspectives. So becoming the observer. Initially, become the observer of yourself. Bring presence to the words that you choose to speak. Bring awareness to your body language. Become the observer of your ego. You can become the observer of the person you're speaking to. Now there's awareness on words. You'll become aware of the words that people speak. And quite often, because we're all unconscious, those words match their energy. And you can see from the words where they are in their life. It's quite apparent. And become the observer of the whole entire conversation. Just looking down, notice the flow, the chemistry, the engagement, the enjoyment, the respect, the curiosity, the give and receive, the energy exchange. When you bring awareness to all these things, you are fully present. So, this day that they told us about on our course was called Listen Like a Stone with Ears. Listen like a stone with ears. And I've shared this ever since. And it works every single time. And like many of you have experienced on this journey so far, something that you've now brought awareness to, and that aha moment, that caught myself, that's my ego. That awareness of going with your truth is instant, it's in a flash, the speed of light, the soul. And listen like a stone with ears in a conversation. So you'll see me speak, and especially when I'm doing an interview with someone else, when they're speaking now, I become a stone. So there's no words from me, no interruptions, no yeah, no nodding along. I'm there completely neutral. If you notice, there's very little face expressions at all. Remember, we feed off of a confirmation from the other person. Right, you know, yeah. You're trying to get them to come along with you, with your words. But when we're unconscious, we're pulling them into our conversation. Bit preachy. So if people now do that to me, I'm neutral. So their ego has nothing to be attached to. And I'm playing the role as a coach. However, the coach is the listener. I have become a good listener. That is the art of having a conversation. Your truth is your truth, and your words communicate that truth. However, does everyone need to know your truth? Because a truth is also met with resistance. And many people are not prepared for your truth. Me, look what I've done, look what I do, look what I've got. My experience, my meditation, me. It's ego. So, become the stone with ears. You're curious. You're now aware. Paying attention. And whilst they're talking, throughout the whole conversation, you're present. Fully present. That word that they throw out sometimes, awkward silences. That's a label. There is only magic in the silence. The uncomfort is ego. Because silence is silence. You cut silence in half, you have silence. It's complete knowing. No confusions, didn't hear anything, didn't see anything. I'm just silent. I'm the witness. The observer. So on the course, we had 3 people in every call. One was the coach, one was the coachee, and then there was someone else observing the conversation. And the coach gave the coachee 10 minutes to speak. allowing them to bring up whatever they chose to. What did they want to talk about? What did they want to get off their chest? And the coach had to stay silent all the way through, 10 minutes. And even then, if there was a silence, they stopped talking. You hold the silence. Complete stillness. It really is a gift to be comfortable in that stillness. It all becomes about energy. And magic takes place in the stillness. So I become a mentor on that coaching course, and I had my own apprentice. And when he started his course, I was there with him on the journey. And he was about to go into his first coaching practice session. Listen Like a Stone with Ears was a number of weeks away. And I told him, look, on your next conversation with your coachee, listen like a stone with ears. What do you mean? Listen like a stone with ears. And I explained the same thing. Stay neutral, be the coach. And 2 days or so later, he rang me up and he left me a voicemail. And it turned into a voice message. The most excited voice message I have ever received. It was amazing. He said, Harry, I did my coaching client today, and I was like, right, I'm going to listen like a stone with ears. So I let her start speaking, and I'm thinking, okay, God, she's going off, and I'm just watching her. And then all of a sudden, there's a silence. And he said, I was sitting there thinking, oh, this is going on a little bit. It was still silent. And then he said, I was just about to ask a question. And then she asked that question out loud to herself. So he stopped, he watched. He's like, oh my God, she just asked the question that I was going to ask. And then he goes, Harry. And then she answered that question out loud to herself. And he was so excited about it. It was just an instant knowing. And the ego at first wanted to jump in. He felt uncomfortable. I need to get my next question in. And we spend most of our time in conversations thinking of what next to say, waiting for the right moment, that right gap to get our words in, that we're not paying any attention. And this happens all the time. And ever since I've been aware of ego and soul and my passion for the human behavior, I love the silence, and I have learned so much. All different types of ego, all different uncomfortable feelings. It's like their ego melts in the silence. And I've also seen magic in the silence. That's where insights come from. They go within. That's where all decisions get made, in that silence. Yet silence is empty. It's hollow. It's space. It's that moment of bliss. And the moment you realise you're in it, you're not in it anymore. You're back in the mind. And every time you hold that silence, you'll hear the little voices go off. You'll hear the awareness. And I'll share a personal story with you too. So I had a business, 12 years, 2 personal training studios in London. We were good. And then COVID hit. It was a real struggle, but had to happen. Because I had a business partner this whole journey, completely different in the outside world. Very different on our views